Well, Hunter Biden could be facing an indictment on his federal gun charge by the end of this month. In late July, when the president's son and his attorneys fronted Delaware Judge Mary Ellen Noretka, his controversial sweetheart plea deal was rejected. Hunter was set to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and face 2 years probation to avoid jail time for lying on a form when buying a firearm in 2018. Judge Noretka was frustrated with the structure of the deal, saying it was not standard and different from what she normally sees, so she ended up requesting more time and information to sign off. But today it was revealed that Hunter Biden will be indicted on the gun charge later this month. He is accused of lying on a form when he bought a gun, saying he was not a drug user when in fact he had a known drug problem, especially around that time in his life. That is a punishable crime of up to 10 years behind bars, but Hunter's original plea deal sought to get him off the hook by having him on 2 years probation and remaining sober. US Attorney David Weiss's court document read, "The Speedy Trial Act requires that the government obtain the return of an indictment by a grand jury by Friday, September 29, 2023 at the earliest. The government intends to seek the return of an indictment in this case before that date." Hunter's lawyers released a status report shortly after, suggesting the deal was still in place. Mr. Biden has been following and will continue to follow the conditions of that agreement, which the US Attorney's Office agreed and signed and informed the court on July 20, 2023 that the probation office had agreed to and had recommended be put into effect. Those critical of the president have reacted to the news about Hunter's indictment. Congressman Ronnie Jackson tweeted, "I'm not holding my breath on a Hunter Biden indictment. I suspect our Justice Department is scheming to give him the deal of a century. Hunter belongs in prison for years, nothing less. He must face justice for his many crimes." DC Adriano wrote, "This of course means the DOJ will probably announce a new set of charges for President Trump the day after Hunter's indictment. Got to distract the public." Sean Davis wrote, "I wouldn't pass Weiss to sandbag his own grand jury to prevent any indictment of Hunter Biden. He and the Biden family consigliaries who work for him have been breaking the law to protect the Biden crime family for years. Why would they stop now?" Kenny Webster wrote, "This is a good start, but it is still not enough." Now, this is the latest update in this case that has been operating since 2018 and has been riddled in scandals. David Weiss's role in this investigation has been under serious scrutiny because even though Attorney General Merrick Garland claimed that he had all the authority to lay whatever charges necessary, that declaration has been contradicted by whistleblowers. 2 IRS whistleblowers under oath claimed David Weiss said he wasn't the man to make the final call and that when he wanted special counsel status to be able to lay charges outside of his Delaware jurisdiction, it was denied. So is this investigation ever going to be fair and proper, or was the president's son always going to end up on top?
Well, there's no question that there's been contradictory statements that have been made about the authority that David Weiss had. He made it essentially no uncertain terms that he could make any sort of decisions about indictments, and then suddenly now he's been given this special counsel status, which seemed to be what he was claiming to have in the first place. So I don't think that there's a lot of confidence in the fairness or the propriety of the process here, but ultimately no final decisions have been made, so I think we'll have to let things play out before we can make a final assessment of that.
The allegations that Hunter Biden did commit a crime when he bought this firearm has been debated the last few years, as many critics believe there is enough evidence to prove he did lie. This is something I asked former Trump White House staffer Garrett Ziegler about in June. Mr. Ziegler was one of the earliest people to obtain a copy of Hunter Biden's laptop, and he divulged what he found from that time in Hunter's life. So on October 12th, 2018, Hunter Biden buys a gun and he ticks that box that said he's not a drug user. He's even written in his memoir that he was doing drugs at that time. If he's found guilty of this, he's punishable for up to 10 years in jail. Now, what evidence do you have from this time in his life that proves that he probably was on drugs and has committed this crime?
It's a very good question. We have within the week pictures of him smoking crack cocaine and with a meth pipe in his mouth. Most people don't realize that Hunter's own sister, Ashley, accused him and Hallie Biden, his brother's widow, of not only ingesting crack cocaine, but smoking meth. And so we have a picture on October 3rd, 2020 of a meth pipe in Hunter Biden's mouth, only, a week and change from the time he bought the gun.